One former U.S. president whose name has become synonymous with controversy has faced sharp criticism from a well-known actor and politician, accusing the former head of state of incompetence and calling him the worst president in the country's history. The famous actor did not mince words. Following the events of January 6, when the Capitol became an arena of chaos, the actor lashed out, comparing the ex-president's words to a hammer blow on an anvil, emphasizing their destructive power. Arnold Schwarzenegger, a renowned politician and former governor of California, expressed his support for Kamala Harris in a lengthy address. He stressed the need to turn a page in U.S. history, noting that Donald Trump, in his opinion, is incapable of doing so. Schwarzenegger foresees only a deepening of division and an escalation of destructive behavior on the part of the former president. In the wake of the tragic events, Schwarzenegger released a powerful video message. It was not just a celebrity statement, but a sincere and emotional expression that garnered widespread attention. He spoke as someone who had witnessed the dangers of extremism firsthand. His words carried weight because they were dictated not by political preferences, but by moral principles. The storming of the Capitol, according to Schwarzenegger, was a direct result of the lies spread by Trump and his refusal to acknowledge the election results. He condemned this approach, stating that it was not leadership but a path to chaos. Schwarzenegger expressed confidence that Trump would go down in history as one of the worst presidents, and his voice was filled with anger and disappointment. Currently, Donald Trump holds a leading position in the Republican Party's nomination process. However, despite this, there are concerns that his leadership may negatively impact the party's overall prospects. The deepening of disagreements and contradictions within the Republican Party could create favorable conditions for a Democratic victory in the upcoming elections. The lack of new, bright, and talented individuals within the Republican ranks capable of offering sound and constructive solutions for governing the country is regrettable. Doubts arise about Trump's ability to win the upcoming election given his previous experience in office. Many voters have already had the opportunity to assess his actions and policies, which may influence their choice on Election Day. It is quite possible that Trump will secure the Republican nomination, but the outcome of the general election remains in question. There is a belief that, despite the absence of ideal candidates, voters will be able to make an informed choice based on an analysis of the actions and proposals of each. The tension reaches a peak when Arnold does not limit himself to criticizing the events of January 6, but draws a parallel with one of the most tragic periods in human history. He refers to Kristallnacht, the Night of Broken Glass, a tragic event in Nazi Germany in 1938, which foreshadowed the brutal persecution of the Jewish population. Let's pause on this point. Arnold, born in Austria and familiar with the consequences of World War II, compares the unrest in the Capitol to the manifestations of mob violence that historical chronicles warn about. This comparison is not just significant, it is of colossal magnitude. He recounts how his father and other members of his community succumbed to the hateful ideologies of that time, drawing a connection between this dangerous mindset and what he believes Trump cultivated: division, resentment, and disregard for the truth. It is not often that one hears such candid statements from a former governor and global celebrity. Arnold's message is not just an accusation, it is a warning. The well-known public figure expressed deep concern about recent events, emphasizing the importance of recognizing their potential consequences. He appealed to U.S. citizens to remember common values and actively defend democratic principles, regardless of political beliefs. In this regard, a logical question arises: should we ignore such serious statements from a person whose life has been filled with both triumphs and tragedies? It is not just about criticism of a specific political leader, but about an alarm signal aimed at awakening the vigilance of American society. Based on personal experience living in Europe, the speaker emphasized the danger of intolerance and its ability to lead to unpredictable consequences. He expressed an understanding of existing concerns about the possible repetition of such scenarios in other countries, including the U.S. Although he expressed hope that such a development of events is unlikely, he called for an awareness of the destructive power of selfishness and cynicism. In conclusion, it was stated that President Trump's actions aimed at overturning the election results and misleading the public through lies amounted to an attempted coup. False claims and misinformation influenced many, including relatives and neighbors, and the consequences of such lies are well known. Donald Trump, as a political figure, can be assessed from different perspectives, and some believe his presidency will leave a negative mark on history. However, like old social media posts that are forgotten, his influence may diminish over time. It is important to remember the role of those elected officials who supported the controversial statements and actions. In this regard, it is fitting to recall Theodore Roosevelt's words that true patriotism lies in supporting the country, not necessarily supporting a particular president. This idea echoes John F. Kennedy's book Profiles in Courage, which examines examples of individuals who put principles above political expediency. Arnold Schwarzenegger also expressed his view on Donald Trump's presidency, emphasizing that the problem lies not only in individual wrong decisions but also in a deeper impact on the values and principles that unite the country. Schwarzenegger specifically noted Trump's refusal to accept the results of the 2020 presidential election, seeing this as a threat to the country's future if such behavior goes unheeded. For Arnold Schwarzenegger, disagreements with Donald Trump went far beyond ordinary political debates. He perceived Trump's actions as a direct attack on democratic principles, openly criticizing his attempts to discredit the election results and calling them anti-American. Schwarzenegger viewed the situation not just as a political clash, but as a serious threat to the foundations of democracy. He wondered what would happen if leaders began to arbitrarily choose which rules to follow and what place would remain for the people in such a system. The actor actively shared his thoughts on social media, particularly on the platform X, formerly known as Twitter. In one of his posts, he emphasized that leaders should build trust, not sow doubt. According to Schwarzenegger, Trump's dissemination of false claims about election fraud was not just an irresponsible act, but a dangerous one. He believed that such statements fueled discord, promoted conspiracy theories, and, most dangerously, made citizens doubt the integrity of their own political system. Schwarzenegger warned that such behavior undermines confidence in the institutions that have served as the foundation of the state for centuries. Given Arnold Schwarzenegger's reputation as a disciplined and influential figure, his words carried significant weight in public opinion. Donald Trump's presidency was marked by a desire to challenge the election results, which sparked widespread public debate. His actions and statements caused division in society, affecting many citizens, including loved ones and acquaintances. Assessing his performance as a leader and his place in history remains a matter of debate, but his influence on the political situation in the country is undeniable. The question of the role of officials who supported his policies also requires careful consideration. In this regard, it is fitting to recall Theodore Roosevelt's words that true patriotism lies in supporting the country, not a particular leader. Arnold Schwarzenegger, expressing his point of view, emphasized the need to heal America and overcome disagreements. He called on the nation to turn the page on division and hatred, emphasizing that the country cannot afford to continue living in an atmosphere of anger and mutual accusations. The events at the Capitol became a wake-up call for him, indicating that the country is on a dangerous edge and needs immediate measures to stabilize the situation. A distinctive feature of Arnold's approach was the deep personal coloring of his appeals. He spoke not as a typical politician but as a person genuinely concerned about the fate of the country. His call to Americans was to focus on commonalities and values rather than on the differences that divide society. He reminded that democracy is not just a leader or a political party, but a system based on honesty, fairness, and respect for established procedures. According to Arnold, these values should be prioritized for the further development of the country. His message was addressed not only to supporters of a particular political force. Arnold appealed to all citizens, Republicans, Democrats, and independents, urging them to put aside their differences and restore lost trust in each other. He warned that the alternative path, a nation mired in endless conflict, would only exacerbate the divisions within society. Arnold's call for unity was not naive or overly optimistic. He recognized that the healing process would be complex, but he believed it was achievable. The main question was whether people were willing to listen and act. Would Americans allow anger and resentment to define their future, or would they find common ground and move forward together? For Arnold Schwarzenegger, the decision was obvious. Raised in the Catholic faith, attending church and Catholic school, studying the Bible and catechism, he learned the principle of servant's heart from a young age. This phrase, relevant even today, implies serving something greater than one's own interests. Today's need for elected representatives is precisely that of public servants' hearts. We need people who are willing to put the public interest above personal power or party affiliation. We need statesmen and stateswomen dedicated to the high ideals upon which the country was founded and to which other nations look. In recent days, friends from around the world have expressed concern about the fate of America, and one woman even wept, worrying about the country's future. Arnold Schwarzenegger, known for his independence, has once again demonstrated it by supporting Kamala Harris. Despite his long-standing affiliation with the Republican Party, he has no hesitation in stepping beyond party lines to clearly express his position. This move underscores his commitment to the principles he believes are important for the future of the country. Arnold has always put the interests of the country above party allegiances, which has been evident in his political decisions on numerous occasions. One such unexpected move was his public endorsement of Democrat Kamala Harris for president. This action caused surprise, given his political background, but Arnold has always been known for his independent judgment. In his interviews, he explained that his decision was driven by disillusionment with the politics of both major parties and, in particular, with the leadership of Donald Trump. Arnold emphasized that a true leader should inspire unity and inspire trust, and he saw these qualities in Kamala Harris. For him, personal qualities and the strategic vision of the candidate were paramount, not party beliefs. In the context of the federal charges brought against Donald Trump and the support he receives from many high-ranking Republicans, Arnold's position looks particularly interesting. He notes that if Trump is found guilty, he faces serious consequences, but at the same time emphasizes the importance of the principle of presumption of innocence. The final decision, in his opinion, should be made by the courts, and only after that can final conclusions be drawn about his guilt or innocence. Regarding the prospects for Trump's re-election, different points of view are expressed, but there is no consensus on this issue. Regardless of personal assessments, it is important to note Arnold's example, which demonstrated independence of thought and a willingness to go against the grain. Arnold's decision to support Kamala Harris was dictated by his desire to see the country moving forward, away from the instability and division associated with the Trump presidency. His support was based not only on Harris's professional qualities but also on a critical assessment of Trump's policies. Arnold made no secret of his disagreement with some aspects of Trump's economic policy, especially with regard to tax changes. He argued that the tax cuts initiated by Trump disproportionately benefited the wealthiest segments of the population, thereby exacerbating economic inequality in the country. The candidate in question, in the opinion of many, is not a suitable figure for the post of President of the United States. Concerns are expressed about his reliability and moral character, given his criminal record. Such circumstances cause concern among the public. Some consider his behavior inadequate and even point to possible signs of mental instability. However, criticism is directed not only at the candidate's political position but also at his rhetoric. It is noted that his statements may be divisive and aggressive, contributing to the intensification of negative sentiments in society. It is emphasized that a leader should strive to unite people, not to deepen existing disagreements. It is believed that such an approach hinders constructive dialogue and cooperation in solving important problems facing the country. In contrast, support is expressed for another candidate, which is accompanied by a call for active participation of citizens in elections. It is not just about supporting a specific candidate, but about choosing the future of the country. The importance of overcoming disagreements, focusing on common values, and moving forward together is emphasized. The speaker emphasized that participating in voting is not only a civil right but also an important duty with the potential to influence the future of the country. According to Arnold, this is an issue that goes beyond political preferences. It is a reflection on what America should be, whether it will continue to move in the direction of division and animosity or choose the path of unity and development. Arnold expressed confidence that the choice lies with the voters, emphasizing that transformations do not happen instantly but can begin with a single election and a shared desire for optimism rather than fear. We invite you to share your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this material, please like and subscribe to the channel. Additional videos are available for